Hey everyone, my name is Caitlin, and this is my cultural self-inventory presentation. A little bit about me is I am a second year public health major here at Cal Poly. I was originally born and raised in San Francisco, also in the Bay Area, and I would say growing up in San Francisco has really shaped the way that I see the world. It's such a diverse place with so many cultures, languages, perspectives. Everything that I would see on a daily basis has kind of shifted the way I handle the day-to-day life. I would say that San Francisco has really taught me how to interact with different people. So I'd say going down the street, I would see kids. Going into stores, I would see older people. I would interact with people my age, and then it's really helped me even shift to now living in Cal Poly or San Luis Obispo, and my now normal interactions are people within the academic same age range. So I would say San Francisco has really taught me how to be comfortable in adapting and adjusting to different areas. That kind of goes into the actual question of the presentation is, am I a cultural being? And I would say yes. I would say 100% I am a cultural being, but I do think that statement, that confidence in that statement changes either throughout the day, based off the age I am or how old I am. I would say it's definitely shifted since I was younger. Before this class, I really thought that culture was just about race and ethnicity, like what languages we speak at home, what holidays we celebrate, what foods we even eat on the holidays. But now I've come to see this in more of a deeper meaning than that. I found that's values, how I communicate, my relationships, even how I would view success. And one of the biggest things that I've learned is that culture is always shifting, it's always changing, there's always growth within your culture. It's not something that you just figure out once and then not touch again. It's something that changes over time. And that kind of goes into the reflection that I want to talk about, the 3 parts of my identity. I would say that 1 is language, 2 is religion, and then another really big aspect of my identity is being a first-gen American. So we can go straight into it. My first one is language. I grew up in a trilingual household. I grew up with one side of my family speaking mainly Spanish, and then the other side Cantonese. And then as I grew up in high school, middle school, elementary school, I adapted into learning English. So I have become trilingual, but more recently it's been bilingual. But over time I noticed how much my tone and communication styles have shifted, and that kind of connects to the whole high context versus low context communication, which we talked about a few times in class. And I would say that I lean more high context just because of how I operate, especially when talking with family and stuff like that. The tones or the way we move our bodies to show what we're feeling. An example of this is my mom's side of the family. Whenever we're mad, we use our lips, so we like that to point at things if we're mad at something. And that's kind of our indirect way of saying what we're feeling. Versus high context, during my dad's side of the family, my Asian side, we're very down to what needs to be said. It's spelled out, where the lines are, what's meant to be, what's not meant to be. And I've kind of seen this move over to even my academic and professional life. I've noticed that before I like to figure things out on my own compared to now where I'm in a job, which I'm at right now. It's been more of I like the rules, I like the lines, and I like to know what to do and how to do it. So that's kind of a little bit about me. And then my second point was religious beliefs. I grew up in a very religious household. As I said before, my mom's side, I'm very Catholic. My dad's is Buddhist. And I grew up in a mix of that. Part of that is within my Buddhist religion, you are you are understanding of all types of cultures, all types of religions. So those kind of worked really harmonically. And then my growing up, I also went to a all-girls Christian school. So for a long time, I followed what was taught without really questioning it. And I think something really nice about being in all these type of environments is that I was able to kind of pick out what I really liked and what I didn't like and kind of put that into my own, just myself, just who I am as a person. And I think that kind of goes into the deep structure in the class, the cores and the values that shape everything that is just underneath the surface of being me. And when you start to rethink some of those, it affects a lot of other things too. Like, I'm still trying to figure out questioning if questioning means disrespect, or if it means growth. So that's part of a little bit goes into my second identity. And then my third identity would be being a first-gen American. This one hits a little bit more close to home. I would say that me being a first-gen, which means I'm the first person born, me and my siblings are the first people born in my family in the United States. And that comes with its own set of cultural balances, I guess. At home, I'm taught one way of living. I'm taught about values, about family, about respect, tradition, and then outside of the home, I am growing within the American culture, American style, and that's kind of different depending on where I am. I code switch. That's a word that I end up learning within this class. I finally put a term to it. It's either being too American or too foreign is kind of something that I've had to deal with within my identity, but now I see that as a duality of its strength. I find that as something that I love, being able to see two perspectives, two different lenses, and I get to carry that culture with me wherever I go, within life and people, the way I communicate with people. And after kind of explaining to you guys all my identities, I think the main takeaway that I really took from this class is that your identity is so layered, and it's allowed to change, it's allowed to adapt. You are allowed to take things here and there, and then that becomes who you are. But thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.